Text 9. Jai. Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Nathani pumsam amritayanani Nathani pumsam amritayanani Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Nathani pumsam Nathani pumsam amritayanani Nathani pumsam amritayanani Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Vaishnavas. Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Nathani pumsam amritayanani Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Yada cha partha prahita sabhayam Jagad gururyani jagad Krishna Nathani pumsam amritayanani Rajorumene kshatapunyalesha Word for word. Yada, when, cha, also, partha prahita, being advised by Arjuna, Sabhayam, in the assembly, Jagat Guru, of the teacher of the world, Yani, those, Jagada, went, Krishna, Lord Krishna, na, never, Thani, such words, Pumsam, of all men of sense, Amrita Ayanani, as good as nectar, Raja, the king, Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana, Uru, very important, meaning, did consider, Shata, dwindling, Punyalesha, fragment of pious acts. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Lord Krishna was sent by Arjuna into the assembly as the spiritual master of the whole world. And although his words were heard by some, like Bhishma, as pure nectar, it was not so for the others, who were completely bereft of the last farthing of past pious works. The king, Dhritarashtra Duryodhana, did not take the words of Lord Krishna very seriously. Purport. Lord Krishna, who is the spiritual master of the entire universe, accepted the duty of a messenger and, deputed by Arjuna, went to the assembly of King Dhritarashtra on a peace mission. Krishna is everyone's Lord, yet because he was transcendental friend of Arjuna, he gladly accepted the role of messenger, exactly like an ordinary friend. That is the beauty of Lord's behavior with his pure devotees. He reached the assembly and spoke about peace. And the message was relished by Bhishma and other great leaders, because it was spoken by the Lord himself. But due to the exhaustion of the pious results of their past deeds, Duryodhana or his father Dhritarashtra did not take the message very seriously. That is the way of persons who have no credit of pious deeds. By past pious deeds, one may become the king of a country, but because the results of the pious acts of Duryodhana and company were dwindling, it became evident from the actions that they were sure to lose the kingdom of the Pandavas. The message of of Godhead is always like nectar to the devotees, but it is just the opposite to the non-devotees. Sugar candy is always sweet to a healthy man, but it tastes very bitter to persons suffering from jaundice. Jai. So here we are continuing the openings of Canto 3. And in this opening we see there are questions by Vidura. Now in order to start this questioning, there is a setting of stage. And so one may consider, if the core crux is the questions, why set the stage? We see this in the beginning of Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam as well, where the core crux is that Parikshit is going to ask the question of what should a dying man do? And in order to get to that point, there are these opening, first few chapters where we are talking about Krishna returning to Dwaraka, then Krishna leaving, then the Pandavas, also leaving. And so we see this setup in Canto 1, and the purpose of the setup is to bring to the fore the curse of Parikshit. So similarly now in Canto 3, we see a similar construct. In order to get to the questions of Vidura, what Sukadeva Goswami is doing is resetting up the situation so that these questions and their pertinence are understood. Right? So Vidura is asking these questions because there is it is close to his heart. You'll see when the questioning will start, he'll first meet Uddhava, and he will ask very dear questions to Uddhava. And then from there, he will be switched on to Maitreya. And there, you will see the conversation take a more profound turn. So here, the setting of the stage is there. This is all part of Mahabharata, this summarization by Sukadeva Goswami. Parikshit would have heard this many times, but it is still always nice to hear. And we'll see Sukadeva Goswami pick on certain key aspects of the Mahabharata. One, he talks about the glorious qualities of Yudhishthira, a devotee of Krishna. And here he is talking of the glorious qualities of Krishna, the Bhagavan. So usually we have, in our system we have three things. We have Bhagavan, we have Bhakta, and we have Bhakti. This makes Bhagavatam. So there is Bhagavan, Krishna himself. There is the devotee, Bhakta, and then there is the process of devotional service, the Bhakti. And you will see Sukadeva Goswami, in relating any of the stories in Bhagavatam, he will always focus on these three things. He'll focus on the aspect of Godhead, he'll focus on the aspect of the devotee, and he'll focus on the devotional service that they perform. And you will see this even here when we will see the journey of Vidura. We will see how Vidura, in searching for spiritual knowledge, he goes through many devotional practices, like or specifically of austerity, right? So that those things will come out. So here we are seeing the aspect of Bhagavan, right, of Krishna, and so it is explained that Krishna has 6 qualities, Bala, Kriya, Jnana, Tejas, Aishwarya, and I'm missing one. Bala, Jnana, Tejas, Aishwarya. I'm missing one. Okay, no problem. But there are 6 opulences. Now it is explained that these 6 opulences of Krishna are, in the Chaturvyuha, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. You will see that Shankarshana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha each take 2 qualities as prominence. So 2 into 3, 6. And then you have Vasudeva or Narayana, who has all 6 qualities. So that's how it is explained. Right? So Vasudeva or Narayana has all 6 qualities. Right? And it's not like Shankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, they are Vishnu Tattvas. So they have these qualities, but the prominence is always shown of 2 of each. Because Shankarshan is part of the field, Pradyumna is part of inspiration, and Aniruddha is part of the goal. Right? So they are part of each. Sambandh, Abhidaya, Prayojana, they are part of each. And then we see Vasudeva, he takes all the qualities, all 6 qualities. So that's interesting. And so we see here that when we see Krishna's, the definition of Bhagwan, of having these 6 qualities, what we see in this shloka is this line, Partha Prahita. Partha Prahita means one who was advised by Arjuna. And so this is a unique quality of Krishna that we will not see generally in his Vishnu Tattva forms. So usually in the Vishnu Tattva forms of Krishna, we will see that the devotees will come to Krishna asking for help, and they are looking to Krishna to give a solution. Here what we will see is Arjuna and the Pandavas have discussed with Krishna and said, my dear Krishna, we would like a resolution to this war. So we want to send you as the emissary. So they are giving Krishna the solution that, my dear Krishna, you will need to solve this. Right? Now, of course, in both scenarios where the demigods come to Krishna and ask for help, they are looking to Krishna as a solution. And here when you will see the Pandavas coming to Krishna, advising Krishna that, my dear Krishna, can you please resolve this war? In both circumstances, they are looking to Krishna for a solution. But it is the approach that is different. And so that's why this Partha Prahita is interesting, this word. Because here it means that usually we'll see the term Partha Sarathi. Partha Sarathi means one who is, befriending Arjuna. And he is with Arjuna and guiding Arjuna, right? Partha Sarathi. Befriending Arjuna and guiding Arjuna. But here Partha Prahita means one who was actually advised by Arjuna. And so one who is advised by Arjuna, one has to appreciate Krishna's relationship. So when we see Krishna in Goloka, you have Krishna in Vraja, Vraja Krishna, Mathura Krishna and Dwaraka Krishna. So this mood here is Dwaraka Krishna. But in all 3 forms, you will see unique, the 5 rasas taking place. The 5 rasas means Vatsalya, Sarupya, not Sarupya, sorry. Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Shanta and Madhurya. You will see these 5 aspects in all of these principles. You will see this in Vraja, you will see these 5 in Mathura, you will see these 5 in Dwaraka. Of course, their quality and then their taste is changing. So there is Parakiya in Vraja and Sakhiya in Mathura and Dwaraka. So Mathura and Dwaraka, if somebody wants to be near Krishna, from the girl's side, they have to be married to Krishna. So their relationship is Sakhiya, like it's licit, it is legal. Whereas in Parakiya, it's illegal. So that is Vraja. So it is the variance of mood, but it is still the same Krishna. So here you will see Krishna and Arjuna have such a close relationship that there is advice being given by Arjuna that, my dear Krishna, can you please do like this? Can you please speak like this? So there is actually guidance given to Krishna on how he should approach Dhritarashtra. Now Krishna is Paramatma. He knows how to approach you. He is in every atom. He knows how to approach. Usually when Krishna has to approach us, it's usually with a beating. Because it's Kali Yuga and we are lazy and lazy and crazy. So we are Manda Sumanda Matayo. So we are lazy, we are what is the right word? Lazy and unfortunate. Yeah, that's the right word. Unfortunate. And so because we are lazy and unfortunate, for Krishna to remind us of something, we have to be jerked. Oh, wake up. But here the devotees are already awake. They are already awake. So here, when the discussion is happening with Krishna, it is different. So because they are already awake, then the relationship becomes more profound. Right? Like, I'll just give you, something for you, you want to consider. when the pujari is coming in and dressing Radha Gopinath. Right? In one sense, one can say, well, Krishna is giving guidance through the heart. But it's nonetheless, it is the pujari who's deciding how the turban of Krishna will look, which color flowers will sit where, or the tailor who is tailoring this. They are making the decision. Right? Of course, like we said, inspiration is Pradyumna. So everything is eventually all leading up to Krishna only. It's not like it's outside Krishna. But you will see that this setup of Radha Gopinath here in the temple, this is actually an advice from the pujari. The pujari is thinking, okay, I will put Krishna's flute in this way. Like, I don't know if you have noticed sometimes Krishna's flutes take different angles. Sometimes it's a bit, its angle maybe at 10 degrees, sometimes maybe 12 degrees, sometimes a little up. Right? So you see various, positions. And so this is also advice in one way. In one way you can consider this to be an advice. So this is relationship. So in relationship, the aspects of Bhagavan get submerged. Right? And it becomes more about sambandha. Right? And if the sambandha becomes strong, then the abhideya, sorry, I apologize. In one sense you can say that the abhideya becomes a bit more finer and the prayojana changes. Right? So right now I am outside the temple, I am a simple person, so I am looking at Krishna and thinking, oh, here's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whatever he does is correct. So, that is one relationship. The pujari on the other hand, he's inside, he's dressing Krishna. And he's thinking, okay, I will put this, dress here, I'll put it like this. So in that you'll see the relationship is changing. So the prayojana is changing. The goal has shifted. The goal now is let's beautify Krishna. You see the goal, how it shifts? I am standing outside the altar, I'm thinking, Krishna, whatever you do, you are the Supreme Personality of God. Right? But inside, we are like, Krishna, no, Krishna, if you put the necklace like this, that looks very nice. So the advice. So this is about relationship. And so this aspect is being brought out by Sukdev Goswami, that although Krishna, he is Jagat Guru. He is the one advising everyone. He is Jagat Guru, right? So Guru means to advise. Right? And even when devotee is saying something to Krishna, the inspiration, the desire and all, that is all still Krishna. So it's not like it's Krishna, but we are talking right now about the sambandha, about the relationship. Because the relationship changes. Right? So then therefore the mood changes. And so that's why we were talking about the prayog, because when relationship changes, the goal changes. Yeah? So here, although Jagat Guru, Krishna is Jagat Guru, his relationship with the Pandavas is such that they are advising him. Now, here's something interesting. When Krishna goes to the assembly of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, like he goes to their assembly, the funny thing is, when Krishna is telling that we should have peace, Duryodhana is also advising Krishna. That's the funny part. Right? So Duryodhana is sitting there and telling, listen Krishna, my advice to you is to tell Pandavas that this will never happen. So now Duryodhana is also advising. So we can see Arjuna, the Pandavas are advising, and here Duryodhana is advising. But what is the difference? Is that this advice, because of the sambandha, because the relationship doesn't exist, this advice has no value. And in fact, in this position, you will see that many great sages will come to Duryodhana and tell him that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You see, what they are doing is they are establishing the basic fact. Like I was talking about me standing outside the altar and saying, Krishna, you are supreme. So they are first trying to establish that fact. Establish your basic sambandha. This is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has established a basic sambandha that Krishna is supreme. He is supreme. Right? And we have to be devoted to Krishna. Establish that fact. Bhagavatam comes in and says, now that you understand that one should be a devotee of Krishna and Krishna is supreme, see how the two deal. Like how a devotee functions and how the Lord functions. And then in Chaitanya Charitamrita, now that you have understood that, let us see how you can participate in this devotional service. So then the participatory aspects come in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? So that's the gradation. So here, the interesting thing, and you'll see in the shloka this dance. In the beginning, the relationship is different. Krishna and Arjuna, and there is, a cordial relationship. Now, as you're coming down, you are seeing Duryodhan and Krishna, or Dhritarashtra and Krishna. Both are kings. Here, interestingly, the word Raja, both Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan are used. Both of them are used, right? Because they are saying they both are fools. So together, you can represent them as the king, the foolish king. So these two are now trying to deal with Krishna, but their dealing is completely different. And in fact, they are trying to advise Krishna, but that is not accepted, and in fact that is looked down upon. And in fact, when it goes further, you will see that they get cursed. They get cursed that, as the story will go, that they try to arrest Krishna. Duryodhan tries to arrest Krishna. One may say Dhritarashtra didn't participate, but he allowed it to happen, so that is his participation. Because his sambandh is actually with his son, not with Krishna. So if his son is arresting Krishna, he is participating in that process. So now they are trying to arrest Krishna. So we will see that their relationship is completely different, right? And then of course Krishna shows his a partial universal form there, which Bhishma and everyone see. And now it is interesting that when we will see relationship of Bhishma is also a devotee of Krishna. But because he is stuck in the service of a non-devotee, he is a devotee of Krishna, but because he is stuck in the service of non-devotee, he is not able to have a positive relationship in situations, not overall. His relationship with Krishna overall is very positive, right? But in certain situations, his relationship becomes negative, right? It is not favorable, it becomes unfavorable. Right now, so one may see how this happens, this favorable and unfavorable state. So it is explained that if a devotee sometimes becomes attached to his material activities, if a devotee gets attached to his material activities, there will be unfavorable states in his devotional service. Yeah? If he gets attached to his material activities. If he is attached to his spiritual activities, then there is no such thing about having an unfavorable state. But if you are attached to your material activities, there will be an unfavorable state. And this is true for all of us. Right? And so, you're a brahmachari, so that is a different state for you. But for us, most of us are working in the material world. And so we get attached to our activity. Oh Prabhu, I like to sing. You are attached, right? Oh Prabhu, I like to do this. So that attachment will cause an unfavorable situation. Unfavorable. Now one may say that, but isn't that one's inspiration? The activity that you're good at, isn't that your inspiration? True, that is a fact. Without a shadow of doubt. If you're good at something, that is your inspiration. At the same time, attachment to that will not be favorable in Krishna consciousness. And so that is weird. It is a dichotomy that we need to get over. I'm good at something. Congratulations. You're good at it. You're very good. Congratulations. Your attachment to that goodness is going to be unfavorable. And we will see this many times. You will see this aspect come out in Bhagavatam again and again and again and again. Right? So we'll see, although Bhishma, and his name is, Srila Prabhupada writes his name here, like Bhishma, right? And the reason why he is taking Bhishma's name is because Bhishma loves Krishna. He like real true love for Krishna. He is so lovable to Krishna, and in the chivalry, right? Chivalry is considered a secondary form of rasa, but it is a rasa. It is a rasa. And it is a rasa of Gokula. It is a Gokul rasa. Right? So it's not Vaikuntha rasa. It's Gokul rasa. Right? So that Gokul rasa is there, and Bhishma has that rasa. Right? So I want to fight with Krishna. So in that chivalrous nature, he gets Krishna to break his own vow. So you can appreciate, right? Like, when Krishna tells Arjuna, Name Bhakta Pranashyati, like, I will do anything for my devotee. Right? When Krishna says that to Arjuna, Bhishma is saying, okay, let me see how far he goes. So you see, then that is something, isn't it? So that relationship is very close. It's a very close relationship. But here, because he is stuck in a service that he is very dedicated to, he is very attached to, there will be unfavorable states. And so, Bhishma ends up in an unfavorable state where he is fighting against Krishna. right? Nonetheless, he is chivalrous. Even in that fight, it is explained that as long as Bhishma was in the battlefield, 11 days, right? 11 days. He was there for about 11 days. Yeah, I think he died on the 11th day. So, for the 11th day that Bhishma was in the battlefield, not a single rule was broken. No, he died on the 12th day. I think he died on the 12th day. It was, I think, 11, 3, 2, 1. 11 plus 3, 14, plus 2, 16. Yeah, correct. So 12 days. So it was the 12 days. The commander-in-chiefs were in that number. So, sorry, 12. So on the 12th day he died. So then you will see that although he's a great devotee, he will be in an unfavorable position. And in fact, he tells Yudhishthira when he's lying in the bed of arrows, right, that, that this state of mine was here is because I was attached to my material activities. So now we will see here Bhishma, while Bhishma is in this, so just to show you in this shloka the grades of devotees. There are the Pandavas, pure devotees. There is Bhishma, pure devotee, but has a material attachment. Bhishma. Then there is Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, completely attached to material activities, no devotions. Can you see the grades? The 3 grades in this shloka. So those 3 grades of devotees are being explained. So Sukadev Goswami is in a way presenting to Parikshit that how in a standard relationship, when you are observing or when you are participating in a relationship, sometimes you may observe a relationship or you may participate in a relationship, you will see these 3 grades. Good relationship, nice relationship with some problems, and bad relationship. These are 3 states, and in fact, if you open Facebook or Instagram, in your relationships status, you will see these 3 status. Married, single, it's complicated. So, pretty much this shloka is presenting that. So yeah, I'll end here. It's 8:35. This is a simple shloka. But as we read this, as we read Bhagavatam, we see many interesting things, and it makes us realize that in our journey, we will also observe ourselves in this state. Sometimes we will observe ourselves in a state that is completely unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we'll observe our state where we are favorable to Krishna consciousness, but our attachment to material world is keeping it unfavorable. And then some days, sometimes when kirtan is going on and you're just dancing, you're in a fully favorable state. So you see, you get, in one's own life, you get all of these mixes. So yeah, I will end here. You want to share something, Prabhu? No? Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Let me get down first. No, it's very nice.